right. Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy holiday Monday. Today is, I forget which day this is. This is Memorial Day. I think Labor Day is in the fall. So, for those in the US, Memorial Day, it's raining here. Well, it's going to be raining here, but it has been a wet weekend. So, I send out some prayers and for those who count on this weekend to make a significant portion of their yearly income because of the holiday. They didn't get that this weekend, at least not in this area. So, sending them love and joy and some new ideas to create income. So we're talking about shame, and today we're going to use the word worthy. I talk about the word worthy, right? And how that really comes about and what it really means for us to have self-worth and to believe in our own worth and to just truly comprehend this gift that we have and this gift that we're given. So, what if shame isn't a flaw in you? Maybe it's a program running through you, right? Um, we have a creek here on the property. It's not our creek, but it runs through our property, right? What if unworthiness was never real? What if this thing that we think is our program is simply something that's just running through us? And we thought it was real. This unworthiness was real because our brain taught us to believe it, right? The programming we had, the people around us, the way we were taught, the way they were taught, the way they were taught, and so on and so on and so forth. So today we're just going to have a little conversation about that. Let me ask you this. Here's a couple of questions to ask. Have you ever felt like no matter what you accomplished, it wasn't enough? I don't think anybody would answer that going, no, I've never had that feeling. I think that's a pretty universal feel. I think it's a universal feeling. I know for the people I get to hang around with, it seems like it's a universal feeling. There's always something more. Do you ever feel guilty receiving good things? That was a big issue for me 2 decades ago. This is something I've been working on, right? Do you ever feel guilty receiving nice things, good things, things that are a surprise to you, things that make your life a little easier? Do you ever find it easier to love others than to feel lovable yourself? That's why network marketing does so well. We get to love others. And when people tell us they love us, we go, oh, don't worry about it. It's not, it's nothing. It's nothing. No, it's okay. Right? It's so much easier for us to love others than to feel lovable ourselves. Right? So those are to give you some ideas. Those set the stage to understand this idea of worthiness. So if you said yes, you're not broken. Hi, Dubby. If you said yes, you're not broken. You're running on outdated code. We've upgraded our phones. I'm sure Android has a phone upgrade when they go 13.725 version, whatever. iPhone up the iPhone's just upgraded to version 18. We're running on old code. That's literally what we're running. We're running on the code of our parents, our grandparents, our great-great-grandparents, right? And this outdated code needs, and there goes my system. The outdated code needs to update the system. And today we're going to update it with one word. We're going to update your outdated code with one word, and that word is worthy. Yes, I know you're worthy, Dubby. So this idea of understanding the invisible mechanics, how things happen. Have you ever, if you lifted the hood of your car, first of all, do you know how to pop the hood on your car? I know, a little joke, but it's questionable. It's understanding these things. What? I'm talking. It's understanding these things. If you understand how to do these things, these are the invisible mechanics of how things operate. Shame isn't just an emotion. It's a default mode setting, right? When we get into our default mode network, shame is one of the ones that operates right there, right in the front, right there on its own. It's front and center. Shame is always there. If you ever go to the grocery store and going, I hope I don't see anybody, that's shame. We call it addiction to approval. It's literally, oh my God, I'd be so embarrassed if somebody saw me. Right? This lives in the limbic system. There's no words in your limbic system. You can't describe it. There's nothing. It's only these energy feelings, right? So this lives in the limbic system. This is influencing our self-image, our actions, and our relationships. And shame creates avoidance behavior. I don't want to go. I can't go. I don't want to go to the party. I'm too skinny. Anybody ever say that? I don't want to go to the party. I'm too skinny. That's probably not what you said. Shame creates these avoidance behaviors. What? Avoidance behaviors, perfectionism. Come here. What's this? Perfectionism, procrastination, and people pleasing. We've heard all of this, right? But understanding, how do we become worthy again? Shame makes you feel like you have to earn what you already are. So this is the anterior cingulate cortex. The anterior cingulate cortex is looking for errors in our life. And the amygdala is looking for feeling and fear and emotional pain. Emotional pain is literally triggered in the ACC, the anterior cingulate cortex, as physical pain. That's why it hurts so much when we get embarrassed. It literally triggers the same. Think about that for a second. We understand feelings. We know feelings are different. If I feel bad, it's different than if I go, bang my fingers and go, ow, that's pain. There's really no emotion in the pain. It's like, ow, that hurts. Versus, oh, they said something mean to me. When shame is the filter through which it goes through, the ACC literally lights up the part of our brain that turns this shame into the feeling of physical pain. And the brain looks for two things. Will this kill me? Or how fast can I recognize the pattern? And if shame is something that will kill us, hurt us, physically give us pain, when it's really not, we will do anything to avoid it. We will create survival mechanisms. Do you ever know somebody who laughs a lot when they're getting embarrassed or they feel embarrassed? Somebody who wants to people please so that they don't have to feel the pain of their own shame. So what happens is, and then this isn't the first time this has happened, we repeated shame, the pattern, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, sets off the default mode network. That's a loop of self-rejection. That makes sense? Shame is like wearing a pair of sunglasses inside a dark room. It's not that the light isn't there. It's that your lenses have dimmed your ability to see it. Think about that. Maybe we've all done that before. We're too cool for school and wore sunglasses all the time. And then you go into a dark room and it's like really dark. Yet there's enough light in there to see if you took the glasses off. But this glasses, this filter of shame that you are looking through dims your vision so much you can't see the little bit of light that's there for you to see that you're a good egg. You are a good egg. So how do we get this worthy disruptor? How do we disrupt this? How do we upset the apple cart? Understand you were born worthy, right? Bob Proctor has the book, You Were Born Rich. Wallace D. Waddell says, The science of getting rich. You were born rich. It is your right to be rich. If we were born rich, it's our right to be rich. God said, even the least of you can do this and more. In the Bible, it said, Jesus said, somebody said, I set before you life and death, choose life. If all of these things, if all of these clues, if all of these indications are that we are absolutely beyond amazing, we were given gifts beyond our measure, who taught us to be this limiting soul? Do you have to earn this next breath? Do you have to earn it? Do you have to do something to determine, to earn how much air you want to breathe in this next breath? Do you have to go create an account somewhere? Do you have to go make a deposit somewhere to take a full breath right now? Or do you have abundance? You don't earn your next breath. You simply breathe. Worth, write this down. Worth is not a wage. It's a wiring. Worth is not a wage. You are paid. It's a wiring. Here's another one for a sticky note. Worth is not conditional. It's foundational. Worth is not conditional. It's foundational. You have worth already inside you. It is not conditional. It is foundational. When somebody says, I don't feel worthy, what they're often saying is I've mistaken the approval of others for the truth of who I am.
Bonus.
I've mistaken the approval of others for the truth of who I am. Check, please. Right? Worth is not conditional, it's foundational. And I've mistaken the approval of others for the truth of who I am. So what if we begin to remove the mistake from your body? What if we begin to remove this mistake of approval, of counting on the approval of others? What if we remove that from your body? Neuroencoding. What if we remove that from your body so you can feel what worth really is? Would you be open for that? Would you be ready for that? Would that be okay? What part of you is a little nervous right now? Pay attention to that. These are the things that it's, well, why would I ever be nervous about my worthiness? Because it's a new identity. See, these are one of those things. It's kind of, once you open that door, you can't close it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you feel it, you can choose to unfeel it, but once you feel it, you get a new awareness of, oh, there's something big going on here. So we're going to do a little EFT. For those of you that aren't familiar with EFT, it's literally called energy freedom technique. It's called tapping. You may know it as tapping. Right? And so there's certain areas that we're going to tap. And when you start to tap these areas, it's literally allowing you. One of the things about tapping that I was never really excited about, because I was too much, what's the word I'm looking for? I was too much of a, I don't want to say of a purist, maybe. I don't think that was the word I was using when I was doing this, but I was too much of a purist, thinking that, well, if you ever said anything bad, law of attraction, it's right. I was a fanatic, I guess maybe would be the better thing. I was fanatical about language. Well, when I truly understood what the challenges, when I got over the fact of how things should be said and how words can flow us into a particular thing, I was about the content, not the context. So when I started to look into tapping deeper and saying, why is this such a valuable, why is it so incredibly powerful tapping? What makes it so? right? So then I went into chakras and I went into tapping more, and I went into this deep dive to figure out what is the frequency. And this is where the words of Waddles came in. It's not about doing certain things, it's about doing things in a certain way. And Dyer's words of change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. So this was a couple of the things I shifted. And in shifting this, I understood that tapping energy freedom technique was literally about setting the stage of recalibrating your GPS, right? Your global positioning system, where you are in your world. So tapping and some self-talk, brain talk, is pretty powerful thing. So if you're not familiar, there's tapping. It's karate chop, right? Eyebrow is inside, outside eyebrow, under the eyebrow, nose, chin, collarbone, and side. Okay, so those are the things that we're going to do a little tapping on. And what tapping allows us to do is set the stage. We say the truth of what exists. A lot of times affirmations force us to, I'm a millionaire, I'm a 7-figure income earner, I'm a this, I'm a that. And the sacral chakra is your truth chakra and your security chakra. And when you say something that isn't truthful or securing, we have a tendency to run the whole shame story. And that's why we don't do affirmations on a continuous basis, because it's literally bumping up against and brushing up against and punching up against our old story. And we are literally avoiding our goals due to shame. That's a big statement, and it's a big truth. So tapping, we're going to go into this. We're going to do some of the areas, eyebrows, right? We're going to do all of these things. And we're going to say some stuff, and I'm going to encourage you to say the stuff along with me. I'll say it, you can repeat it, or we'll say it again, you can repeat it again. But it's simply just breathing. It's allowing your body to, what happens if you unlock your worth, if you remove unworthy from the body. That's what we're looking to do here, okay? So I want you to just settle in for a second. Just settle in for a second and become aware of your space. I want you to hear the silence in your space. Maybe there's stuff going on. For those of you that may not be aware, I live on a ranch, and we have free roaming flying birds, aka chickens. And Johnny, it is the morning for Johnny, so he's been up since about 4:30 this morning in the coop crowing, and he's out now because it's not raining. And so you may even hear a rooster crow in the background. So just settle in, become aware, take a big breath. Consciously say, I didn't need to earn that. That breath was already mine. Exhale. Exhale some fear and doubt. And we're going to start with some tapping. And just tap karate chop. And this is kind of setting the stage. And in this karate chop, right, just 2 fingers lightly, doesn't have to be hard. We're not tapping like a Swedish massage. Massage? What is massage? A Swedish massage. This is just something soft to activate the meridian. I'm beginning a conversation to awaken my worthiness and remove unworthy from my body. I'm beginning a conversation to awaken my worthiness and allow unworthiness to leave my body. So now we'll go to the eyebrow, right? So it's just this point right here, kind of where the nose meets the eye socket. So just lightly tap there. Even though I've been taught to feel ashamed, right? Even though I've been taught to feel ashamed, just let that settle in, activating the meridian. Even though I've been taught to feel ashamed, go out to the outside of the eye, kind of where the eye socket kind of comes together. I'm willing to see myself as more than my mistakes. I'm willing to see myself as more than my mistakes. Under the eye, I am worthy of forgiveness, even from myself. Under the I am worthy of forgiveness, even from myself. Okay, under the nose, right here, between the nose and the upper lip, right there. I'm worthy of a life that feels good on the inside. Oh, feel that. Feel that in your gut and in your heart chakra. I am worthy of a life that feels good on the inside. Chin, it's between the bottom lip and the top of your chin, right? Even if I don't fully believe it yet. Even if I don't fully believe it yet. Collarbone, right? Right here where your collarbone comes to your sternum. I choose to open the door to my worth. I choose to open the door to my worth. And then under the arm is down here about halfway down your rib cage. You can do that with all fingers. I was not born broken. I was born worthy. I was not born broken. I was born worthy. Feel that. Feel that. And then top of the head, right? Not at the very top, but kind of between the middle of your hairline and at the very top of your head. And today I come home to that truth. And today I come home to that truth. Rub your hands together. We're going to do it one more time without my little directions, and allow yourself to flow. With each change of statement, we're going to move our tapping, right? So here we go again. We're going to start with the eyebrow. Even though I've been taught to feel ashamed, I am willing to see myself as more than my mistakes. I'm worthy of forgiveness, even from myself. Even if I don't believe it yet. I choose to open the door to my worth. I was not born broken. I was born worthy. And today I come home to that truth. I am worthy of a life that feels good, even on the inside. I am worthy of a life that feels good, even on the inside. Take a big breath. Feel a shift. Feel a release. Notice energy in your body. These are some big, big steps. Here's some self-talk, brain talk. Say these after me. Shame is not my identity. Worth is. Shame is not my identity. Worth is. I speak to my younger self. You were never the problem. I speak to my younger self. You were never the problem. I speak to my future self. You are safe to receive. I speak to my future self. You are safe to receive. I speak to my nervous system. You are safe to be seen. I speak to my nervous system. You are safe to be seen. So imagine walking into a room, little visualization. You can close your eyes for this if you're in a safe space. Imagine walking into a room with your shoulders back, knowing you are worthy of being loved, you are worthy of being seen, you are worthy of being heard, and you are worthy of being paid well. Imagine walking into a room knowing you are worthy of being loved, being seen, being heard, and worthy of being paid very well. Imagine choosing without asking for permission, because your worth is not up for negotiation. One more time, here's the image. Close your eyes. See yourself walking into a room, standing tall, shoulders back, with a knowing, an absolute 100% knowing that you are worthy of being seen, worthy of being heard, worthy of being loved, and worthy of being paid very, very well. Imagine choosing without asking for permission, because your worth is not up for negotiation. Let me ask, how does a worthy woman walk? How does a worthy man breathe? What decision would you make today if you trusted your worth? What decision would you make today if you trusted your worth? How does a worthy man walk? How does a worthy woman breathe? What decision would you make today if you trusted your worth? So here's some homework. This is necessary to, again, trigger new modalities in the brain, to trigger new neural networks. We're having new thoughts, we're thinking new things, we're changing the patterns through which we saw ourselves of unworthy. We're now thinking of ourselves as worthy. This is a whole new filter to look through our light and through our life with. So it's important to rewire these new feelings, these new emotions, these new awarenesses. And so here's some homework. You may want to take some notes on this. What if you were to write a letter to your 12-year-old self, and the theme of the letter, here's the title of the letter, the title of this little paragraph or paragraphs, or could be an ongoing epilogue. You were always worthy. Writing a letter to your 12-year-old self saying you were always worthy. Or maybe record a 60-second audio. I am worthy. A voice memo to listen to before you go to bed. Listen to upon your awakening. I have audios I've created that have me speaking with and speaking to my mastermind that are surround these concepts. I have a dialogue with them, waking up in the morning and going to sleep at night. It's my conversation of counsel. So, assignment, write a letter to your 12-year-old self that says you were always worthy. Or record a 60-second audio, I am worthy, and put it in your voice recorder, in your voice memos. It has been with you for eternity, shame. 2 minutes of a conversation is not going to rewire. It's just not. We've been doing this now for 2 weeks. I think maybe 2 weeks. And we're just starting the tip of the iceberg. So your shame was never your truth. Listen carefully. Breathe this in. Take a big breath before I say the next statement. Your shame was never your truth. It was the story that needed healing. Your shame was never the truth. It was a story that needed healing. And today, you become the author again of your story to begin the healing. That makes sense? Let that settle in. Your shame was never the truth. It was a story that needed healing. And today, you once again become the author to allow the healing to begin. So let's understand, as a brain trainer and a neuroencoding specialist and a brain talk specialist and the Nest trainer that I am, I want you to understand what just happened in your brain. This is very important that you understand. We're not just working on the software, we're literally upgrading the hardware. The reason that you can hear about shame or don't want to talk about shame is because it's trying to rewrite the software. And it's hard to rewrite the software until the old software is destroyed. Well, the best way to eliminate the old software is pull out the hardware that it's running on. Does that make sense? If you needed to upgrade your computer's memory, you don't try to put more stuff on it or compact. You can compress the files on your memory to give it more space, but it's still only 6 megabytes or 2 gigabytes or whatever the memory is of the size of your computer. And then you have your RAM, your random access memory. That is all programmed inside of this shame filter. When you start understanding and when you allow yourself to begin to become aware of this, it becomes highly emotional. And we are literally upgrading the patterns in your brain. We're upgrading the default mode network. So I want you to hear what took place inside of your brain during this past little 30-minute conversation. We interrupted the shame default circuit. And this is routed through the DMN, the default mode network. And the amygdala loop that is triggered. And this is happening inside the limbic system. And what we did was we introduced a new dominant signal. A signal, not just a word. A signal, not just a phrase. A signal, not just a feeling. And that signal is worth. What is the frequency of worth? What is the signal of worth? And when we start to look at that, it's not something we look at emotionally going, well, I don't have that. It's simply a signal. It's like a radio signal or television signal or cell phone signal. It is literally a signal that operates in the universe that's of a frequency and a vibration that is your worth, that already exists. And we've activated that. We flipped the switch on for worth, just simply worth, not worthy, not worthlessness, not I'm worthy, just simply worth. Like cold or hot or wet or dry. Not raining, wet. Worth. The brain prefers patterns. Listen carefully. The brain prefers patterns over truth. You know this. This might be the first time it's been expressed in the syntax that allows you to feel this understanding. The brain prefers patterns over truth. We know that. That's why people who are overweight kind of stay overweight. People who are sick kind of stay sick, because that is their pattern that operates over truth. You were just introduced some cognitive dissonance. You are a dissident between the old "I'm not enough" loop and the new "I was always worthy" statement. Different between a loop and a statement. A loop is what ran unconsciously, subconsciously, and a statement is what you are making in the conscious world, which is a fight. Which is why it activates the amygdala and the limbic system, and that loop starts to run as a defense mechanism. Why? Because the brain prefers patterns over truth. This cognitive tension is a sign that the prefrontal cortex, your executive decision-making, is now engaged and active and not checked out. How is it stressful to step into your best version of you? Because we're operating on a truth versus a pattern, and the brain don't like that. The door opens up, truly opens up neuroplasticity, meaning the system is ready to update the inner narrative. This is why right now, the synapse, the neural connections that are around probably throughout your entire brain. That's why this is like, man, this is exhausting. Do you feel like this is a lot of energy? This is a lot of stress. I feel like I'm just getting wiped. I'm just getting whipped. It's literally because each neural connection was at 13, on average, about 1,300 neural connections between those little tiny connections. They just doubled to 2,600 because we are interrupting a pattern with a truth. And the brain is trying to figure out, how's this pattern? How do I protect myself? How do I keep myself safe? And it's literally looking for the things. It's doubling its capacity to become aware so that it doesn't get harmed. It is literally on fight right now. And if you shut down and you tune out, you go into flight. And then you stay in the freeze mode. Once you recognize the flight, fight, or freeze, you can step into the fourth F that few people talk about, called freedom. So this conversation today opened the door for neuroplasticity. So what happened in the nervous system? Through tapping, breath, and gentle repetition, you co-regulated the nervous system. See, when we start to move, that's why tapping is so valuable. You are literally having to make a conscious decision, operating the prefrontal cortex, to move from your eyebrow to your side of the eye, to the end of the eye, to listen to the words, and that's saying that your brain is saying, okay, if you're paying attention to this, you got to be safe. You wouldn't be doing this going over a barrel on the Niagara Falls. You wouldn't be going, okay, I'm getting ready to get in a barrel to go over Niagara Falls. I should do some tapping. That you might do that as a meditative state to calm your body, to trick your body, to slow down your body. When we did this, when we were talking about shame, we activated the prefrontal cortex, we shut down the amygdala, we stopped the limbic system from firing and wiring these old stories that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, I know all of this stuff, I've done this before, none of this ever works. We stopped that by forcibly, consciously installing new statements, not trying to upgrade worn out patterns. Does that make sense? So the vagus nerve was stimulated, especially with phrases like, I am safe to be seen. Say it right now. I am safe to be seen. Does that still make a knot in your gut? And the tapping on the collarbone and the meridian and the underarm points allowed you to focus, to move your body, to cross the meridian, right? That's typically how it's done. You could do this, but it's kind of hard to tap like this. Most people cross the meridian of their body. And when you do that, you set up this phrase because you're unbalanced physically. Your body says you must be in a safe space. All of this is happening underneath the hood. right? You shifted the body from sympathetic, fight or flight, into parasympathetic, rest and digest mode. And this state changes, increases your oxytocin, reduces cortisol. How many of us have heard too many commercials in our lifetime already of cortisol in the fat gut and the belly? This state change released oxytocin, reduces cortisol, and makes feeling safe. Making healing that it felt safe. And you didn't just hear the message, you felt safe enough to believe it. So, by walking yourself those old stories, by walking them, these feelings, these images, these ideas, these concepts, through the shame specific somatic phrasing, right? We use a little stoicism. Through this somatic phrasing, you offered your body a new template for interpretation. Most shame is stored not as data. Listen carefully. Most shame is not stored as data. It's not stored like a recipe in your brain. It's stored as state and story. Shame puts you into a state, a feeling, and it forces you to run a story to maintain that feeling. It's not sourced as data. It's sourced as state and story. Bonus. Aha. That's why it's so hard to address shame, because you're not changing the paint on the wall of your shame house. You are literally moving that thing, changing its state, creating a new story, undoing what was done to you. You're not simply changing data. See, when people write out affirmations, when they put things on their little sticky notes, I am a millionaire. And they stick it up on the thing. That's data. That's data. This is what Wallace D. Waddle says. It's not about doing certain things. Data, it's about doing things in a certain way. Story and state. So, the fascia, literally that stuff that holds your tissues together, the fascia and the cellular memory hold micro tensions. They've held these with decades old shame imprints. That's why you feel uncomfortable. Your whole body breaks out in sweat, or you start to feel everything can happen in your body. That's stored in your body. It's a signal from your brain that triggers everything, those cells in your body that are storing these decade-old shame imprints to activate. So the affirmations we did were not just heard, they were felt through somatic anchoring. This tells the body you don't have to flinch anymore. The danger is over. Say that to yourself. I don't have to flinch anymore. The danger is over. Say it again. I do not have to flinch anymore. The danger is over. Put a smile on your face when you say it. I don't have to flinch anymore. The danger is over. So shame often clogs the heart, the unlovable, the solar plexus, the powerless, and the throat, the voiceless. That's why we've been focusing on them. So, in wrapping it up, you were led through an identity visualization, prompting the activation of mirror neurons. Seeing yourself in your mind's eye operate allowed you to take it on in your body. That's what visualization does, ladies and gentlemen. If you've ever used mirror neurons or paid attention or heard of mirror neurons is that when you see somebody, you act sometimes accordingly. You take on their energy. The reason visualization is so powerful, maybe you never thought about this. Maybe you were never taught it. Maybe I never said it. But this is the reason that visualization works. When you deeply visualize the situation and you visualize as many senses as you can and all of the sounds and all of the tastes and smells and touch and blah, 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 you are literally activating the mirror neurons in your own body. That's what visualization does. You take on the mirror neurons, you activate them, and whatever is happening out there, you take it on in here. And the same cells that were used for limitation and modeling and empathy, you've now rewired them with worth. You didn't just imagine worth. You didn't just imagine a worthy version of yourself. Your brain begins to experience it. Dopamine was released as you visualized your worthy self. You repeat it. This can literally change your identity operating system over time. If you repeat it over time, it takes repetition. You didn't get here because somebody told you once you weren't enough. You didn't get here once because somebody said you're not worth it. You got here because somebody said it, and somebody's said it, and thousands of times it's been said to you, you're not enough, you're not enough. When I was 14 and I had a life-changing experience, I didn't know, I was given this stuff. I was one of those savants that I didn't know what I knew. I just knew that when I was 14, for the next year, I pretty much every chance I could become consciously aware, I said, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. Because boy, I was wired to not be enough. So this worthy avatar of yourself now lives in your brain. And it lives in your brain's possible self-network. And that creates behavioral permissions. So right now, your nervous system doesn't just hope for healing. It knows something has shifted. It has evidence of it. You've given your subconscious a new script, and your body didn't resist. That's a sign you're safe enough to begin again. Not someday, right now. So there you go. Take a big breath. Look for things that are red around you. Continue to activate your prefrontal cortex. Know that you're the decision maker and the decision creator. And what'd you learn? What'd you like? What are some takeaways? What are some ahas? Questions, comments, thoughts?
Great day, Sean.
Great day, Raj.
I have a question
Yes.
about the random thoughts, and I don't remember the rest.
Okay.
I don't. What was the phrase?
Where was it at? What were we talking?
When we're talking about your random thought, when you get random thoughts, I think it's like part of your program. You said it was like the random thoughts that you get.
Well, we get these again, I have a tendency to, this stuff flows in. So
Okay.
you may have to listen to the recording, but
Okay.
the random thoughts we get aren't in our favor. The random thoughts we get. Now we can get downloads, but since we're activating an awareness in our parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system shows up and says, this is our identity. You're looking to shift who we think we are. So we'll get random thoughts that usually aren't in our favor. And it's the random thoughts are the evidence of where we failed before or where we've been triggered before. Now, that may not be what we were talking about, but that's typically what can happen with the random thoughts. We have to become aware of these random thoughts. Are these of my choosing, or if these are of my programming? So hopefully that guides you. If not, then you can go back and listen to the recordings.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous? Any aha?
Morning, Sean.
Good morning, Selka.
How are you this morning?
Outstanding.
In the rain?
Yes. Well, I will be. I have to go put fuel in the generator. Yes.
Sorry, you have such bad weather for the
It's
holiday.
gorgeous weather. It's better. It's better than we had when you all were here. So this is like nothing weather comparatively.
Well, it can only get better from when I was there. I
Yes.
mean, I've been telling people the story about my time in Little Rock. It's blowing people away. And
Literally.
I prefer earthquakes anytime to tornadoes. I can
Yes.
tell you that.
Yes.
So anyway, I am for the weekend in Newport. Just wanted to share
Oh,
that.
cool. That's right. Yes,
Yeah.
with your best friend from New York. Yes.
Well, no, she actually, well, she's originally from New York, but she
Okay.
lives in San Diego.
Okay. Good.
She spends her time, yeah, her and her boyfriend. So it's
Outstanding.
very interesting. Anyway, so I don't consciously, so I have a question.
Sure.
I don't consciously ever think that I'm not enough, at least not that I think that I'm thinking,
Right.
but perhaps can it be unconscious somehow?
Yes. And the unconsciousness comes from when we figure when one of the ways the brain masks whether we're enough or not is we use the old expression, there's two ways to have the tallest building in town: build yours bigger or tear everybody else's down. And what typically happens is that we find challenges in our environment of things that are outside our control that we don't see as we see them as challenges. There's people who absolutely belittle everyone and anyone that's in their world that doesn't believe what they believe. So they just make them worthless. So they bring their own self-worth in by beating everything else down. There's ways to that we're not aware of that I'm not enough is by saying that other things aren't good enough. We have to elevate our limiting worth by saying by saying other things aren't good at all. So if you listen to some of the language of people around you, you'll start to hear of, is that a worthful conversation or a worth less conversation? Is everything around them worth less or worth full of worth? And that's how it happens. So the brain literally protects itself by saying, no, I'm good. I'm good. You ever, when somebody asks you, how are you? I'm fine. Really? Are you sure? Yeah, no, I'm fine. And we're really not fine.
But I don't do that. I do tell people if I'm not fine.
Right. But there's a frequency sometimes with which you say it that can change the way your body feels. And that's just programming, right? Could be the German programming, could be the female programming. There's things that women say that guys are like, I don't understand why women would say that. Women in general. Yeah. There's people that are from France that go, oh, Germans, right? Or Americans say about the French because the French don't like Americans, typically, right? That's the story we're told. Whenever I went to France, they always seemed to like me. I don't know why people think that French don't like Americans. I think it's
because you're special.
Well, it could be. But yes, so this idea of it is simply to become, if we don't have, here's what I can tell you.
Okay.
If we look at the formula that's called our life, and then there's an equal sign, and that equal sign, whatever happens after that equal sign, all of this formula activates our daily life, our daily this, everything that's us equals our current results. If our current results aren't where we want them, it has everything to do with how we see our own worth. Period. End of story. Our results are equal to how we see our worth.
Wow.
And when you look at that the equal sign is the ultimate determinator. I've done all of this equals what I currently have. I'm happy with some, not happy with a lot. Then something in the formula is gone because there's nothing outside that can shift that. This is our formula. It's inside the parentheses. This is what happens first. Our environment, our situations, everybody external to us is outside our parentheses. That's why somebody could read a book. Two people could read the same book and one person goes, that was a dumb book. And the other person goes, oh my God, that changed my life. You're like, how the hell did that change your life? It's the dumbest book I ever read. Inside the parentheses is how everything is seen in the formula called life. Equals our current results. And if our current results aren't where we want, we got to go back to the formula. And everybody wants to keep going back outside the parentheses, outside what they have control over. And they want to go affect the environment, affect the situation. And none of that is going to change the formula that really produces the results after the equal sign.
So how do you change it?
You have to have what's called deep self-introspection. It's called meditation. It's called awareness. It's called journaling. It's called understanding patterns. It's called breaking patterns. Your patterns. You got to break your patterns. I tell everybody, dry yourself off differently. For 20 plus years, I've been drying myself off differently every night. It is something when I get into the shower, I'm like, I wonder how I'm going to dry myself off today.
So that's funny. So how do you figure out that you're doing it differently?
Because I'm consciously aware of what I've done in the past. And part of what happens now, part of my default mode network is that as I dry myself off, now sometimes I'll take a couple of showers during the day because it's working on the ranch. I can just walk over to the showers and go take a shower. I literally are like, okay, so what did I do that I'm taking a shower now? That did the drying off of the last time I took a shower, when I dried off, did that impact the way my day has gone, the way my sleep has gone? Sometimes I'll go to dry myself off differently and I'll bang myself. I'll try to dry myself off because I'm getting more mature. I try to dry myself off with my eyes closed, which is for balance. So that's activating all of the microfibers in my ankles and in my calves and in my knees and hips. And so I'll try to dry myself off and I'll try to raise one leg and sometimes I'll tip over.
That's funny.
So that's drying myself off differently. And so then I'm not worrying about anything else. I'm focusing on, did drying myself off make my day better or activate parts of my old story? And literally, this is the conversation that goes on. So, well, just simply drying yourself off, 100%. Because that's something I know I'm going to do consciously. I'm in water, right? I'm grounding. I'm standing outside, usually 9 times out of 10, taking the shower outside, standing on the stone outside, grounding in my little shower stall and feeling it and being, sometimes I'll bring Beamish in and I'll give him a bath. That's a different way to dry off. I dry him off. I dry me off. So I'm constantly looking for ways. How do I change the slightest, smallest, insignificant part of my day? Most people don't think drying off is a cataclysmic, life-changing moment in their day. I do. I do, because if I make drying myself off stellar, universally expanding in my world, then I'm available for all of the other expansion in my world. I'm available to see when Zorro wants to come and get his head scratched, or Apollo. I sat with Apollo inside his shed in the rain yesterday for about an hour. Literally fell asleep with him with his head resting on my leg, and I fell asleep listening to the rain on the metal roof. It allowed me, I think drying off allowed me to experience that moment. That's how I look to connect my things. And that's how I'm looking to constantly, every minute, every day, all the time, upgrade me so I can upgrade more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
It is.
I would know. I don't ever even pay attention when I dry myself off. So I couldn't tell you whether I dry myself off the same way or not. I mean, I don't know. That's funny. When you just said that, I'm thinking, I have no idea.
And so those are the habitual moments. So I wake up differently every morning. I get out of bed differently every morning. And getting out of bed different could mean I got out physically the same way, but this morning, Molly was on the bed. And I didn't know she had gotten up, jumped up during the middle of the night onto the bed. So she was on the bed. So I rolled over and I gave her a kiss and then I got out of bed. That was different than I got out of bed yesterday.
And do you sometimes get out of bed head first?
Sometimes if I've really slept well and I'm having fun, I'll slither out of the bed like a snake. So I'll just slide down on my hands and kind of snake out. Yeah. It's just, I'll sleep with my feet at the head of the bed. My feet at the head and my head at the feet of the bed, which makes Beamish a little, he's like, what the hell's going on? Where are you? It's
Wow,
anything that's a pattern. If we can break the pattern, then our nervous system is okay when we break patterns. So if the thing that is absolutely constant that we don't even pay attention to, that's part of our challenge, because those patterns force us to stay in the same identity.
yeah, because you do them automatically. You don't even think.
Now, I love that our from our kitchen to the couch, you've been here, is very short. But there's times when I go into the kitchen, I'll walk in backwards, get my dinner, get my soup. Michelle made this amazing broccoli and cheddar soup. And I'll walk out of the kitchen backwards to the couch. Michelle doesn't even say anything anymore. What are you doing? Now, after 25 years, she doesn't even, but nobody else does it, right? Nobody else tries it. But I do those things. Mason just says, your dad. Him and Michelle usually look at each other and laugh, going, that's your father, right?
It's different. I mean, I don't know many people that do that. And with all the dogs you have, I'm surprised you didn't fall over one yet. Going back.
I haven't said I haven't tripped. And Molly is now, she's as big as Seamus. She's not as built, as wide and body frame, but she is as tall as Seamus. That's how fast she's grown since y'all have left.
I can imagine. I was just thinking about her yesterday, and I was thinking, wow, she must be getting really big now. You should send some new pictures.
I will send some new pictures of them together, and you'll be
yes,
like,
because she was already pretty big for a puppy when we were up there. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you. Have an amazing Memorial Day.
I will. Love it. Love it. Love it. And I think, Raj, did you have another question? And then we'll go to Mike.
I just have one question before
Sure.
Mike. What do you say when you tip over?
What's that?
What do you say when you tip over?
Isn't that fascinating?
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Yep. And it's literally, because I can feel myself going, and I know the wall is there. And sometimes the out of balance is fast, so I'll open up my eyes. But most of the times I'm like, I wonder how far away the wall is. Boom. Okay, well, isn't that fascinating? And then I open my eyes and try to center again. So, hey, good morning, Mr. Michael Muzak.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, so some amazing takeaways this morning. I just love how simple the answer was. So I jumped on this call, looking for an answer, right? Because I want the results. I want the results really bad. And
right.
It came down to exactly what Silky asked. Like, I was so disciplined in my patterns. Like, I thought I was the man, waking up at 4 a.m. Every 15 minutes, I was doing the exact same thing every day. And I totally forgot about washing myself off differently. And that pattern that I've been running for, let's say, all of May, right? It got me a certain result, and it wasn't a result I was happy with. And I was just wondering to myself, what am I doing wrong? Because I am like, my fundamentals are so in check right now. However, I'm running the same pattern that was getting me a certain result, and I've just been running it every day for the past month. So it's just so funny how simple the answer is. Something you've been saying for 5 years now. Dry yourself off differently, and I'm glad I jumped on because I didn't know what to ask, because I've been listening to the Saturday call. It was super helpful. I had some great takeaways from it. This call today was super helpful. I did the meditation that you were doing with the tap-in, and I felt amazing after. But the answer was right there. It was just dry yourself off differently. Like, the patterns that I'm going through each day are getting me a result I don't want. And yes, it's awesome that I'm disciplined, but then again, at the same time, I'm disciplined to that one specific pattern that's getting me that one specific result. So that was just the big takeaway for me.
And isn't it funny? I mean, this is the part you have to become aware of. I shouldn't say have to. You get to become aware of is that the answer is always so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a second. You mean can you imagine you told somebody, listen, I've paid 5 years of my life to remember that I need to drive myself off differently. People are going to say, you are totally nuts, which means you are totally breaking their pattern that they can't. It's hard for people to believe that something as simple as brushing your teeth differently, drinking water with the opposite hand, drying yourself off differently could be enough to have the cataclysmic shift in our life that would bring us the freedom for eternity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know this, cross your arms. So if you crossed your arms right now, okay, cross them the other way.
It's difficult.
Right? That's the simplest thing. And we want to create cataclysmic shift in our life by changing the way we look at money, changing the way we talk to customers, changing the way we respond to customers, being in the moment. And you can't be in the moment if you can't cross your arms the other way.
Mm.
Well, shit, which way was the first way? That just shows, right? And we think we're going to change the lives of other people when we aren't even allowed with experiencing the difficulty of folding our arms different.
Mm.
Seriously, you are going to have the vibrational frequency of impact to talk to somebody in such a way that they say, I got to have more of you, right? The Joseph McClendon, I want some of that, when we can't even have some of changing the way we dry ourselves off or fold our arms. That is the frequency that I was taught decades ago that has been one of the most powerful secrets that has been given away day after day, month after month, year after year, decade after decade. And people are like, it can't be that easy.
Yep.
And so the smile on your face right now is you've changed the way you're going to get out of the car. The frequency you're about to get out of the car in is changing the way you do something, which changes the way you walk into the office, which changes the way people see you, which changes everything. And the challenge is that we get so much change that it's change, not transformation, because if it's transformation, you'll do it again tomorrow. But it's change, and because it's change, we want to go back to the old. So we go back to the old. You start over again the next day, and you're like, Jed, why is this? This is the same thing over and over. It's never the same thing over and over. You'll never park in the exact same spot, even if it's in the exact same little cubicle square. You'll never walk on the same steps. I've never been here before. This is the most amazing moment. Watch for the pennies. You ever find any pennies in the parking garage?
No.
Start looking for them. You'll see them. They're there.
Okay. Yeah. And it's funny. Just, I was thinking, because we talk about patterns so many times, and how much you just want to go back to the old way of what got you to where you are at, right? The fear of just something as simple as doing a new pattern, because you just don't know how your day's going to go. However, that's you got to take that leap of faith, right? Like, I'm going to go in today. I don't even think the office is open today. I'm the only one here right now. I think I got dressed. I forgot it was Memorial Day, but at the end of the day, like, you're going to go to the day and just trust that, hey, I'm going to do a new pattern today, and I'm going to have faith that whatever happens from this pattern, at least I decided to do a new pattern today. So
absolutely,
that was a big takeaway for me.
I love it. Congratulations. And the office may be closed today, but the warehouse of your imagination is never closed. So you get to write a new story today.
Yeah. I mean, I'm awake and my state is great right now. So I got a whole day. So.
Love it. Yeah. Congratulations, brother.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you, Sean. I'm super excited to just be able to be back here again. So
I'm glad to have you, brother.
Yeah.
Zalika was there, and then I don't see her in the chat. Okay. If she comes back, we'll have a conversation with her. Anyone else? Last thoughts, conversations? I know Heather was here. That was awesome.
I'm back. Maybe.
Hey, Z, there you are.
I'm gonna try. My phone got too hot, and
Yeah, baby. That's just a reflection of you, hottie hottie.
you know how it is on these calls. Everybody's
That's
phone
right.
overheats.
That's right.
Well, hey, love you, Sean. I haven't seen you in a minute. It's good
I
to be
love
here.
you.
Yeah, it's so great how I showed up today because it's been a while. I think like since January, maybe since I've been on, and it was everything I needed to hear. And for some reason, shame has been coming up lately for me,
Hmm.
and it's weird because it's old stuff.
No.
And I'm just like, I'm not even like doing these things, or even worse, because I'm thinking about it so much, I do it. Like I'm bringing it into the
No.
present. So, thank you for reminding me about the EFT because I totally forgot that was a thing. And I
love
was
you.
driving, so I could only kind of partially do it. So I'm gonna watch the recording so I can really like focus to take notes because you said so many good things. But one of the things that I remembered the most was that your worth isn't or your something like your value isn't a wage, it's your worth. Like it's wiring. Your value isn't your work, your wage, it's your wiring.
Yes.
Yes. And because I was thinking that I needed to earn something because of the shame of my past, that I need to earn my place now. So that was not really working.
And so let's all have a logical moment for just a second. A logical moment. No emotional. Let's try to just do logic. If where we're wanting to go, listen carefully. If where we're wanting to go is a place of freedom, economic, emotional, we're going to be able to do more for more people, give more to give more people. We're never going to have to give from an empty wagon. How in the hell could we ever be shamed about doing better? About being in a better place? There is no shame in this better place. There's only shame of what we think it takes to get to that place. There's no way in the heck we're going to arrive at shame should exist. That means you've sharpened your tools, you've gotten better, you've given more, you've worked more, you've created a bigger community, you've been more valuable to more people. That's the only way you're going to get paid income unless you're going to go rob a bank. But so you're going to get paid for more value. You're going to, all of these things you're going to do. You've given all of you've got to the world to have more of what you want. How does shame ever exist in that space? It doesn't. We bring it with us. We freaking pack it every morning. It's, if you had a suitcase regulation, you're only allowed two luggages, 2 pieces of luggage. Some of you wouldn't have enough. You couldn't go on a trip because you got 72 bags of luggage, called shame. Right, Debbie? Tell them. Stop packing your shame bag. So, it's so good to see you.
Yes. That's so good to do. I can't to watch, keep see. I was driving and kind of just half doing it. I still felt a notable difference in my whole body. So amazing.
Yeah,
Change.
it'll be fun when you go back and listen to the recording.
Yeah. Yeah, I need that because I promise you in January last time I was like we got better. Wait, okay, I thought I froze again. I've been the most I've been. Everything was going so great. And then life happened. Life happened and threw me a wrench. And it's crazy because I was capable. I've been capable. I've been going through it and thriving through it, but I don't feel like I am because of the shame that I'm holding on to from my past. And it's just so bizarre that I wasn't aligned anymore. But yeah, I'm getting back to it. So God.
What was the phrase on the jet ski? What was the phrase you said on the jet ski?
Something bitches. That's the only part I remember. I remember kicking my leg up. Darn, I don't know. That's bad.
So now
It's the path, bitches.
What was it, Michael?
Oh yeah, that's bad.
It's the path, bitches.
That's right.
Thank you, Michael. Oh my gosh.
See-
Yeah.
But see how that brings back that memory now?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you have those memories, you have those evidence. You got on the jet ski, you were like, oh my God, I'm gonna tip over, you're gonna tip over, you're going real slow, you're going real slow, you're going real slow. And then all of a sudden it's like, where the hell is the leakage? You're halfway across the lake watching it just go. Yep, it's the path.
Yeah.
Bitches. So welcome back to the path.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Isn't that cool? That's why we need community. That's why we need Michael, right? Michael remembered that. This is the path, biatches. I love it.
Yes. Love them. Appreciate you, Michael. Shout out to Michael doing great things in life. I was
Yeah,
so
isn't
surprised.
it? He's-
I was so surprised to hear you say you were struggling with something because I can't tell.
Well, these are the shame masks we wear, right? Our shame mask doesn't let anybody see on the inside how we're pedaling like the duck under the water. I love
I
it.
love you, Sean.
I love
I
you
love
too,
you,
Z.
people, and everyone who ever watches this replay. I love you too.
I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaway. All right, my little friends, my little eaglees. Have an amazing day. Y'all go enjoy and just become aware of your patterns. And the simplest thing, if it's something you do regularly, and everybody knows this, I'll say get up, turn around, do a 360, stand up from your chair, turn around, sit down, or do something different. Just break the patterns as you go into patterns, and you'll be amazed at how fast you'll start to allow yourself to see new ways and new things. So I love you tons. I'm your head brain training. Drop yourself off differently in the shower, Misfit. I'll see you all. Yes, good to have you back. What are you doing? Oh, stop. I'll see y'all where?
At the next event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
For the Vida.
Vida.
Vida, we love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us all.
Peace be with us all. And the queen of helping you find your new pattern breaking way, Jessie Lee Ward.
Boss Lee.
Boss Lee.
Boss Lee, we love you, girl. And the little white fluffy.
Gurgly.
Gurgly. All right, everybody. Great to have you back. Have a good to see everybody. And we'll see you all tomorrow morning. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you, family. Peace.
Bye, everyone.